Hello everyone, welcome to Inktober day 13. Oh my goodness, so I can't believe I've even made it this far, to be honest. And oh wow, I've really pushed my my brain for ideas at this point with this prompt. But I wanted to go for something a little bit more unique today. I know I've been going with the same kind of ghosts and drawing them a certain way, but I decided to kind of go with the more, I guess, implied ghosts and ghouls with this piece. And I just wanted to kind of draw something really interesting and that tells a little bit of a story. So I kind of feel like I really actually am happy with how this piece turned out. I definitely could use some practice on like drawing like the rib cages and things like that. And the bones. I know it's not very realistic, so don't come at me with all of the, oh, that's not what the bone that's there is. I know it's not. I wanted to more imply it than really, I guess, have it exact. Maybe I'll do some research, study the inner bones and anatomy a little more and redo the piece. But I'm really happy with how it turned out. Actually, I like it right now. I like how much detail there is, and I think it's a really just pretty piece. And I had a lot of fun doing it. Definitely took me, I think it was like an hour and 40 minutes. So I definitely took my time on it, really just had fun, added some sort of like soul into the piece. So yeah, that's about all I want to say about that. I'm just really happy with it and think it fits well into the theme for Halloween and with the Day of the Dead makeup on. I think it's just, all of it's just really interesting to look at, I think. And I liked drawing it. I liked painting it. Again, like usual, like I've done this whole week, I've used my gouache. I ended up using it straight out of the tube for the gray so that I could have one consistent gray. So I used the black and the white straight out of the tube, which I'm going to have to get more because I'm running low on it so quickly. But yeah, so I used those. I used the gouache, used my Micron fine liners. I used Copic markers for the skirts. And I used my Faber-Castell brush markers, as well as, and the Faber-Castell is in cold gray. Those are the ones I've had forever that I never really used till now. And then I have my Prismacolor Premier little brush pen. It doesn't really say a size. I don't know if they have separate sizes with the Prismacolor, but yeah, that's about all I used on this piece. And yeah, I'm just really generally happy with how it turned out, and I hope you guys enjoy the video. I'll put up some music for you guys to listen to with it. I know this one's a little bit of a longer one, but I shortened it and sped it up as much as I could. Like I said, when I worked on it for quite a bit, so I probably should have filmed it a different way so it would have been quicker, but you know, live and let live. So I'll go ahead and put some music on for you guys. And I hope everyone's Inktober is going well. Just as a heads up for you, I will not be uploading a video tomorrow. It's actually my 2-year anniversary, so I will be spending time with my husband. And I'll just, yeah, I won't be uploading a video, but we'll be back to normal on Monday, but with new prompts. So I believe that's when we will be starting the clowns and monsters prompt, which I'm really looking forward to. I've drawn clowns maybe once or twice. If you've seen my sketchbook tour, I did have a page where I said I had a sick day where I just drew clowns the entire day. I don't know why, but I actually had quite a bit of fun with it when I was drawing them. So I'm looking forward to doing that, actually. Yeah. And actually, I wanted to mention, too, I've had a few people ask on Instagram, and a few people message me here on YouTube saying, why do you put that piece of paper that has paint all over it behind your drawings every time you're painting or anything. It's because the sketchbook I use, it doesn't handle it well. It holds paint well, but I just don't want it to leak onto the page behind it, to the clean page behind it. So this is actually a piece of cardstock I have folded in half that I just put behind any piece I'm doing. It just stays with my sketchbook just to, you know, keep the page behind it safe. And the sketchbook I use, I actually get from Micheals for about $5. So like I said, I don't use anything fancy. Maybe one day I will, but right now these sketchbooks are the perfect size for me. They actually hold paint pretty well. If you use markers in them, they will leak through. But I'm pretty strategic. I can't talk today, guys. I'm pretty strategic, oh my gosh, about how I place my artwork down. So if I know I want the next page to be blank, or if I'm going to do a full spread, you know, I skip a page and plan for if there's going to be something on the back of it bleeding through. I just do sketches on the back, on the other side where it's bled through, instead of another piece. And I know some people don't like that, and I totally understand if that's not for you. It's just what I do. It works for me. It doesn't bother me. I kind of feel like if it's a sketchbook, I don't need to have something super expensive or super fancy just to fill up with artwork. I mean, and I also just like these sketchbooks. I bought one before, which you would have seen my sketchbook tour of if you've watched that. If not, go check it out. But they just work for me. I like them. Good quality, cheap, and easily available to me. I don't have to order it online or, you know, go very far, and they're within my budget, which my budget is things that are not expensive. So yeah, just so that anybody was wondering that, if you're wondering about that, that's why I do that. As well as I did have some people ask about this palette that I have. If you've seen a few of my videos, I actually have 2 of these palettes. I don't know the exact name of them. Honestly, I'll have to look it up on the website, and I'll link it in the description below. But it has about 25 slots or something like that. And I think they have them at Micheals for, I got mine for about $20-something, like $23. And they're really nice because the top piece where I have the gray paint on this video at actually comes out. It's like its own separate little plastic piece, and it comes out and can be washed off or taken out if you don't want it there. I mean, because the bottom is also waterproof. The whole thing's waterproof. It's really great. And it's easy to wash off. So like I said, if you mix paint on the top like I do, you can tell I had washed this before I started the video because I didn't do a very good job and left some paint on there. But yeah, if you take it off, just pop it out, throw it under the sink, wash it off. If you use gouache in it or watercolors, then it's very easy. If you use oils in it, which I don't know, I'm not an oil artist, I haven't done any sort of oil painting before, which I'd like to, but I don't know how they really work. So I don't know if you could use this for a wet palette, because it does seal and it does keep the paint pretty wet for a long time. So I don't know if that's something that people who do oil painting could look into. I don't honestly know, and I wouldn't recommend it per se, just because I don't like to recommend things I'm not sure about. So yeah, just look into that. And as always, I recommend to you guys if you do have a Micheals near you and you are an artist and want to get art supplies, you keep an eye out for their coupons, because they have constantly 30% off, 40% off, 50% off coupons on like like 20% off your whole purchase, or just really good deals that I'm always keeping an eye out for those when I go shopping, because that's how I usually end up buying most of my art supplies, for pretty cheap. I've gotten like a set of 5 Copic markers that are usually like 50 something. I've gotten it for like $25 with their coupons, and just have saved a good deal of money. So even though they are on the pricier side, if you don't, or if you buy things at full price, they are a little bit expensive, but if you use those coupons, then you're saving a good amount of money. And especially if you are an artist, buy paint, or, you know, because some of their, I've seen some of their watercolor, not sets, but the tubes sold separately can go up to like $10 for one tube, which just gives me a mini heart attack thinking about it. But you know, then if you have that coupon, you could be getting it for like 7 instead of 10, or, you know, 5 instead of 10, or whatever the deal is. So yeah, always be on the lookout for that, because I think, I don't know if anybody else has this issue, but I have an issue of, you know, not wanting to spend so much money on stuff I go through pretty quickly, like markers or paints, or, you know, I don't want to spend all the money I have. I have to, you know, eat and pay rent and things like that too. So that's something that I always recommend to you guys, just to, you know, keep an eye out. And I'm not like promoting them, or they haven't asked me to say anything. They don't, you know, know who I am, and that's okay. I'm not promoting for them. I'm just giving you guys what I think is a really good recommendation, because, you know, I started getting seriously into art about maybe, I think, a year and a half ago, something around there. And I'd done art before, but it was always just kind of with the stuff that, you know, your parents would get you, those little kits that came with like some pastels and some cheap crayons and just a bunch of random stuff. So I would use those, and I had a few sketchbooks that I never finished them. And so I just decided one day, like I told you guys before, that my husband's in the military, so I had a lot of free time when he went to like a 3-week drill or something like that. So I was like, you know, let me go ahead and just buy a sketchbook for when you go, and I'll just see if I can't fill up a sketchbook and get a little bit back into it, you know. So I ended up actually filling that entire sketchbook, and I just kind of fell back in love with art. And it helped me also with a lot of personal issues I was going through in my life, with like anxiety and some depression. It just helped me feel like I had somewhere to put my emotions and escape. So I think art can be a very powerful thing, and it can also just be something that's, you know, it doesn't have to be powerful, but it can also just be something that's fun for you to do, something to pass the time or keep your mind off of the more difficult things or troubling things that are going on around you. Sometimes, you know, you get so caught up in your life that you don't realize, like, so it's constantly just bombarding you. You're always next thing's coming, you know. I know with me, a lot of my friends, or with myself, it's just been one thing after another, where you just can't catch a break. And when I was going through a time like that in my life, I think art just came in and kind of made it so I was in control of something. I was doing something I wanted to do, and I was choosing to do, and it really just blossomed from there. And now I have my Instagram, and have recently just started doing these videos, which I've hopefully gotten better at since my first one. I know the quality's not the best, and there's been some issues with like music not being where I thought it should be on a few of them. So I really do appreciate your guys' patience with, you know, them not being the perfect quality. I continue to keep trying to improve and, you know, get it better, because I do want you guys to watch them, enjoy them, be entertained. But yeah, I just think that as my recommendation to other artists, if I were to recommend anything, would just do it because you love to do it. Do something because you want to do it, or you want to enjoy it. Because it can be really hard to feel like you love a piece of art, or you want to continue to work on art or be an artist, when you're always doing what other people want you to do. If you're always listening to other people's recommendations, and always, you know, I know a lot of younger artists that follow me I've got a few messages saying, oh, friends have told me that I should draw this way, or that I don't draw well enough, or you know, different things like that. And I think that younger artists just need to, instead of concentrating constantly, because I always see the question, of them saying, oh, well, I can't find my style, or how do I find my style? And I always want to tell them, don't worry about finding your style. Just worry about improving and worry about having fun with art. I don't think, thinking back on it, I don't think that famous artists ever thought, oh, let me find my style. They just were doing art and having fun and doing something that they were proud of. And I think that's the way to find your style, is just constantly making work that you can consider your best work, and improving and learning. And I think finding your style comes naturally with that. So anyway, I know I rambled a little bit there, and I have a tendency to not stay on topic. So I'm sorry if that bothers you, but I will go ahead now and definitely put on some music for you guys to listen to, and I really hope that you enjoy this video. If you do, give me a like, subscribe. Oh my goodness. And yeah, I hope you all enjoy your Inktober, and see you later. bye.